Good morning. My name is Alexey Ots. I'm the Raptor Freak. It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, y'all. And we're playing the San Antonio Spurs tonight here in Toronto. It's a big game, and I feel real good about it. We win tonight. We get back to 500 as a team, 500 overall, 500 at home, and clean slate, full roster of players playing. Looks real good coming forward. Oh, yeah, it looks really good and really fun coming up. What's going to happen with the Raptors? Just real quick, we have nobody on the injury list except for David Johnson right now. It's so nice to see. I don't even count the little gone for personal reasons guy at the bottom. That guy, we don't even talk about him. I think his last name's Tragic. You know, I'm going to start calling him Tragic because he's just tragic. You know, but anyway, no injuries on our side. Thank God, knock on wood. And on the other side, we're seeing, some key guys here. All right, we got Murray. Murray is their best player. He is not playing today for sure. I was worried he might come back yesterday because they were saying he could be back soon from his COVID protocols, but he's been ruled out for today. So there'll be no Murray and no McDermott. McDermott is a Raptor killer, that guy who shoots threes. We don't like seeing McDermott when he plays because he usually has some big threes bombing on us, and we don't need that. And, there's other guys out. Lonnie Walker is out. There's also a guy named Kakak out also. So they're missing guys. Like I said, San Antonio is one of these teams that's in the bottom five, that's out of the playoffs. They've been struggling to get into the play-in back and forth. They overachieved, beat some big teams, like big Western teams. Like they are a young team that overachieves, plays with energy, rebounding, and shooting some threes. And that's what we got to do. We got to make sure we cover them on their threes, make sure that we're not giving them any second chance points. So we really got to rebound strong tonight because our old buddy, Mr. Pirtle, in the middle of my shirt right here, on my picture for this video, he is an offensive rebounding machine. He can get up in there, mix it up, and get some good things going for the Spurs. So we want to limit them on the boards. If we can beat them on the boards, limit their three-point shooting, make sure they don't get good looks, and really bother their shot, we'll have a lot of success today. I really think we're going to win today. We should win today. This is not the same Spurs team from the last couple of years with DeMar leading it. You know, DeMar took off, and he took that persona to Chicago, and we're seeing it now. But in San Antonio, he was doing that there too. But because of the talent and the way San Antonio was as a franchise the couple of years that DeMar was there, we didn't really get a spotlight shown on him to see actually how he was operating and growing down there in the last few years. So this is going to be a fun game. I love San Antonio. That's my Western Conference team. I got my starter jacket right here. This is an old original starter jacket from the early 90s. Before the Raptors even existed, I've owned this jacket. It's my Spurs jacket from way back because I was an old David Robinson fan. And another guy I was a big fan of that was a great San Antonio Spur is Dennis Rodman. And there's a kind of a story I want to tell right now that's really interesting about Dennis Rodman. He's been popping up in like being commented about, like Pascal mentioned him in the interview yesterday for after practice. And also Chris Boucher posted a picture of Rodman on Instagram this week, that iconic picture of Dennis Rodman totally horizontal in the air, trying to get the ball going out of bounds. You know the one I'm talking about. Now, this is the thing. If we can make Dennis Rodman the spirit legend of the Toronto Raptors for the rest of the year, like the guy that everybody's kind of taken after, we're going to kick some major ass. Because if they all get out there and hustle after rebounds and after loose balls and do all the things that Dennis used to do in his Hall of Fame amazing career, we're going to be in good shape. Yeah, I'd love for them to be an influence of Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is a great influence for the Toronto Raptors. And in fact, in the summer of 2017, I was sitting on my front patio at Kensington Market when I used to live on Kensington Avenue, and it's a sunny day, and I look across the street across Dundas Street, and I see this 7-foot tall guy walking down on a sunny day towards Spadina, and he's got these two attractive ladies with him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Jakob Poeltl. So I jumped up out of my seat on the patio, and I ran across Dundas through traffic. Yeah, I'm crazy. And I was like, Jakob, can I get a picture? He's like, sure. It was kind of awkward, but it was cool. He was a really nice guy. And one of the ladies took the picture for us, and you can see the picture as the picture for this video, and you can see how tall I am in relation to a 7-foot guy. I'm 6'4", almost 6'5". And if you look in that picture, you'll see just how tall Jakob Poeltl is. Oh yeah. So this is what I said to Jakob that day, because remember, Jakob was a rookie with Pascal Siakam. Those two guys came into the league together, and they're like peas in a pod. They're the best friend bromance between Jakob Poeltl and Pascal Siakam was so strong in their rookie years. And I just loved it. And they played 2 years together because Jakob was with us for 2 years before he got traded with DeMar for Kawhi and Danny. And in some ways, Jakob was a really important part of that deal for Popovich, because obviously he's the only one who's still on the team from that deal where he got traded to. And he's been a crucial, important building block for the San Antonio Spurs in the last couple of years. I'm proud of Jakob. And you know what? I wish he was still on our team. We wouldn't have had to go through the Aaron Baines experiment if Jakob somehow, some way had still been on our roster throughout all this time. It would have been real nice to have had him around. So this is what I said to Jakob that day. And you got to remember, this is after the rookie year of Pascal Siakam and Jakob Poeltl. And they, Pascal in his rookie year, he's not anything like he is now. I didn't understand who him and Fred were going to become at that time, because to me, they were G League guys. They were guys who were between our team and the 905. And they weren't necessarily any guarantees that Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet were going to become starters, all-stars, or anything in this league. There's no guarantees when you're in that position. So what I was telling Jakob that day, because I knew he talks to Pascal all the time, I said, Jakob, you need to tell Pascal to watch Dennis Rodman. Watch Dennis Rodman clips and study him, because I thought Pascal at that time would be a role player energy guy off the bench, a guy who just has a great motor, who runs up and down the court and rebounds and plays good defense. I didn't think he'd get any of the offensive skills that he has today. The stuff he's doing where he's cutting like a surgeon, cutting up other teams' defenses with his amazing play on offense, I didn't see that happening with him. I didn't see Fred even making the team at that time. This is the thing that blows my mind, that two of our main important guys were guys in the beginning when they came to our team. I didn't think they were going to stick. I didn't even think they were going to make the NBA in some ways. And I loved that I was completely wrong and that these men made something out of themselves still. So I was telling Poeltl, I was saying, you got to make him watch Rodman. Watch Rodman. And now it's come full circle. Yesterday in Pascal's interview, he said, I hear y'all are calling me Pascal Rodman. It almost took 5 years, but finally I've heard the name Rodman come out of Pascal Siakam's lips. And I love it. And part of it has to do with a 19 rebound game last week. Oh yeah. I love the fact that Pascal Siakam in some ways is like 2020 Dennis Rodman with an offensive skill set. Because in a lot of ways, his defense and his rebounding could be on the level with Dennis Rodman because he has that kind of athleticism and skill. And what Dennis used to do is just practice trajectory, rebounding, ball angles from all his teammates. He'd get out there with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and just let them shoot, and he wouldn't shoot at all, and he'd just watch how the ball bounced for each one of them individually and learned it. And that's how he became such a brilliant rebounder, because he understood where the ball was going way ahead of anybody and went and got to that spot. And that's what I was trying to tell Jakob that day, to tell Pascal to learn. And I think that there's a little bit of that going on right now. But I just love this full circle thing that Jakob Poeltl's here tonight with our guys here, Pascal and Fred, playing against them tonight. The bench mob is reunited in a way, and that bromance between Jakob and Pascal is still very strong. And man, if Poeltl could end up on our team again, that'd be fantastic, because I love his hustle. I love his game. He blocks shots, he rebounds, he plays really good low post defense, and it doesn't hurt that he is best friends and has so much fun being around Pascal. So, wow, it really made me think about how much Pascal has grown as a player in this league, and how he has just exponentially got better and better and better. I can remember these leaps early on from being like viewed as just a role player guy, energy guy, to become, well, he's got some offensive skills. Well, now he's an all-star. Well, now he's like, wow, where he is now. And it's fantastic. And I love seeing it. And that's my Jakob Poeltl story. He's an incredibly nice dude. He was quite young when I met him. And he's a very tall guy. And I would love to have him on our team again. So tonight we need to make sure we control Jakob on the glass and we don't let him get anything going. And these other guys on the outside, they don't have Patty Mills anymore, obviously, because we've seen him against on Brooklyn when he killed us then. So their team's younger. And the thing that's different between us and them as young teams under 30 is that we have our veteran young guys, Fred and Pascal, these guys who've won championships and done what they've done. And San Antonio is still not totally proven. They don't have these guys in some ways. Like with DeMar not on that team, they don't have a closer. They don't have a guy that's just a proven vet that can help them win in the game at the end. So we need to win this game. We need to be 500 by the end of the night, and we need to have a clean slate going tomorrow to play Milwaukee in Milwaukee tomorrow night. Yeah, it's going to be – these games are going to come fast and furious now because we've got a new schedule, y'all, and it's nasty. Oh, yeah, I'm not upset. I'm not frowning about the new schedule. I love the new schedule because it looks like such a great challenge for this Toronto Raptor team that is finally assembled and fully there together, that if we can stay as healthy as possible when we go through this gauntlet of the next 3 months, like January, February, March, the month of February is packed with games now because of the making up of the postponed games. They remade them up. They remade the schedule yesterday, and it's shifted a whole bunch of stuff around. And there's a couple of things I just want to talk about real quick about that schedule. But let me check in with you guys first. Good morning, Lumpy Rex. Go Raptors. Yeah, baby. And good morning, MK47. Good to see you. Raymond Jacobs saying, good morning, Alexi. But remember, don't forget everything bad that happened, everything all that led us to landing MVP Scotty. Can't go back in the past to change things. We won with Scotty. Having Baines was the best thing ever. I love your optimism and seeing the silver lining in a bad situation with Aaron Bates. I think you're right. You're right. It all happens the way it's supposed to. It's just, to me, it's just Poeltl was such a good guy for our team. And honestly, in some ways, when they made that deal, Popovich, that was who we really wanted. He understood that maybe he'd only get DeMar for a couple years, or maybe the rest of the contract he was already on, and that he would leave after that. But Poeltl was the real project that Popovich wanted to work with. He wanted a new big center kind of guy to have around and do the things with and stuff. And you know what? He'd be great on our team still. He totally fit in with what we're doing now. And, you know, he would be kind of in that chem position, I think, at this point. So it is what it is. It's happened the way it did. And we got a championship and we got Scotty. So Raymond's exactly right. We can't change the past. Just for me, you know, it was really part of the reason why I was so sad about the DeMar Kawhi trade was the bromances that were broken up on the Raptor team. Kyle and DeMar, Pascal and Jakob. It was just sad to see best friends have to leave because of that kind of stuff. So that was part of the reason why I was really upset about those deals and Jakob leaving, and of course DeMar leaving. So yeah, it's going to be a fun game tonight. Once again, no fans in the building. It'll be quiet, but our in-game ops are there. You know, the friendly confines of the Scotiabank Arena are still paying off dividends for this team. I feel like, you know, when they get to drive to the arena from their house here, like Fred does, and Pascal get to go in their regular routine to come to the game, that really means way more than coming from a hotel or some temporary place in Tampa and having to go to Amalie Arena. So that's a big difference from last year. And even if we don't have our fans here. Okay, so here's the bad news in the interesting news. The NBA has completely revamped our schedule going forward because of, not completely, but a lot, because of the games we missed last month. The 2 games against Chicago and the game against Orlando have been remade and rescheduled into our schedule going forward. And it's shifted some things around really interesting in an interesting way. Now the Raptors have 12 back-to-backs still for the rest of the season. I think they had 12 back-to-backs for the whole season starting at the beginning of the season. But now, because of the shift of these games going in later in the season, we now now have 12 more back-to-backs that we have to face before the end of the season. And not only that, we have 2 instances where we're going to have to play 4 games out of 5, which is basically meaning 2 back-to-backs in a row with 1 game in between them. Yeah. And they don't do this very often in NBA scheduling. This does not happen to teams very much. So this is going to be a huge test for our depth and our endurance with our players getting into these stretches. And they're basically both at the ends of the months. The end of January into February will have the first time where this happens. And then at the end of February going into March, it will happen again. And the first one's really interesting because the first part of the back-to-back is an Atlanta game, and then we play Miami. They bumped the Kyle Lowry return to Toronto back 2 days earlier. So now instead of being on the 3rd, it's going to be on the 1st of February. Now, people are upset because they know that they're probably not going to get to go see him and welcome him back. And that's justifiable to be upset about that. But this is the sad reality of the pandemic and the things that are happening right now. I don't think things will be better by then, and they'll lifted all these capacity issues right now with the Scotiabank Arena by then. So it sucks. It's sad. It's similar to the thing with Serge recently that Kyle's going to come back, and he may have to come back to an empty arena with no fans. And I know a lot of people bought tickets at the beginning of the season intending to be there for this game, and they're very upset. And I understand completely why. But me, with everything in this world, what you can't control, don't let it control your emotions. Just say it is as it shall be. And then you just accept it and you go forward and make the best of it. The one thing that we're really lucky about this whole situation is that Kyle's last home game here is in April. The Heat are coming to play us here in Toronto in April at the end of the season, one of the last games of the season. But of course, there is the chance, of course, load management, where Kyle won't even play in that game. But at least maybe we will give it a strong consideration if we do actually have fans back in the arena by then, and he's able to get a good hello, goodbye, we miss you, this sucks, this pandemic really fucked up the end of your career with our team, and it's sad, but you know what? That's probably how it's going to all go down. But we're going to play Miami a lot in the near future. We play them twice in Miami, and then we're going to play them on the 1st of February here, probably in an empty arena. And then the thing is, the day that we were supposed to play them, that's where they moved one of the games against DeMar. So we're going to play on February 1st against Kyle, and then DeMar comes in, and we play him on the 3rd. So it's going to be a really interesting week, and that's going to be the first game of the second back-to-back. So it's like Atlanta, Miami, day off, Chicago, and then Atlanta again. So Atlanta is like the bookends of that first 4 games in 5 stretch. The second one is even more interesting, and that's the one that's end of February, beginning of March. Now, the first part, I think it's Atlanta and Charlotte. They just moved they moved an Atlanta game that we were supposed to play back, so that now it's next to a game where we're at Charlotte, at Atlanta, which makes total sense because we're already down there, hit both those cities. They're close together. And then we have a day off, and then we go to Brooklyn, play Brooklyn in Brooklyn. And then the next day we come back to Toronto and play Brooklyn in Toronto. So we've got this the Brooklyn Nets game that was supposed to be at the end of this month has been pushed all the way to March. And it's going to be now a home-at-home back-to-back, meaning we get to play Brooklyn in Brooklyn, and then the very next day they come here and we play them in Toronto. Wow, that's going to be fun. I'm calling that the Starscream Challenge. I want to see what happens when we get this home-at-home back-to-back with the Brooklyn Nets. Wow. So basically, that's kind of how everything's happened. That other Chicago game's been put in there somewhere, and then the Orlando game has been put way back. We're not going to see that Orlando game that we were supposed to play last month until like almost the end of March. So it's really interesting. The games are really jammed up in some of these sections where we're going to have a lot of games coming fast and furious at the team, and they're going to have to be ready and prepared to take on this kind of workload that's coming up. And that's when we're going to really need these role players and deep end bench guys to step in and play good quality minutes and not fuck around and shoot like 2 for 12. in sub situations. Yeah, because it's going to be interesting. We're going to need to have Nick Nurse use his bench in different ways to make sure that we get the most out of our team. And that's going to be fun to watch and interesting to see. Because it really is, after the last game, we kind of see there's kind of tiers. There's the core main starter, possible starter guys. There's like 7 of them. Then we've got like a pretty established, these guys are guys who will play every game, and they're kind of rotation guys like Chris Boucher and Svi and Yuta. And then you have your guys that are definitely like at the end of the bench. These are like your 10, 11, and 12 guys, which is like Delano, Malachi, and Justin, Isaac, David Johnson, that kind of stuff down there. So it really is starting to shake out. The pecking order of the Toronto Raptors team is starting to kind of take shape. We're kind of trying to see it. But there's little places where guys could jump up and get more minutes, stuff like that. Precious could get thrown in the starting lineup at any moment and be one of these top guys also in different places. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to see the different things that Nick tries with the players and how he utilizes his personnel. So tonight, San Antonio, yeah, let's see it. I want to see the bromance in action, Jakob and Pascal. And I love that it's finally come full circle, the Pascal Rodman stuff. Yeah. And, the reason why I told Jakob that is because I saw Pascal in the same kind of physical frame as Dennis. Very skinny, wiry, uppity, jumpy kind of guy, with a great motor, who had great skills athletically. And that's why I was encouraging him to study him and mimic him as a player, not realizing that Pascal doesn't want to limit himself to just that kind of player. He was looking to become a huge offensive player also. The funny thing was what Jakob said to me when I said, tell Pascal to watch more Dennis Rodman. He said, man, that's some old school stuff. And then I felt really old. Anyway, y'all, thanks for being here with me this morning. Just a quick preview for the San Antonio game tonight. I fully expect us to win and be back at 500 tonight with a nice clean slate going into Milwaukee tomorrow. And like I said, we win tonight. We're only 1 win away from the Toronto Raptors franchise having 1,000 wins overall for the whole history of the team. That's right. We're at 998 wins right now, collectively for the franchise. And that's a big milestone. And I'm sure they'll do something special for it. They're not talking about it. They're not making a big deal out of it because they don't want to, jinx something or mess something up or something. But I feel so confident in this team right now that they're going to get that milestone very soon. Very soon. They may even get it tomorrow night. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Oh, one more thing. Today, I'm appearing on a Raptors podcast called Confederacy of Dunks. It's a weekly podcast. It's a fun, positive environment for talking Raptors, just like how we do here. There's none of these cynics, these jerks on there. They're trying to put down the team and make fun of them and stuff like that. It's just a great show. Confederacy of Dunks. We're going to tape it today, and I'll give you guys a link when it comes out tomorrow, and you guys can watch it. I love appearing on other shows and talking Raptors with other people and stuff like that. And this is a fun show. They ask a lot of crazy questions on it, not the normal kind of topics and stuff. Good morning, Callie. Good to see you. We're here live every morning around 9 o'clock. I hope you'll join us again another day. Good morning. I believe we have the talent on our team. However, my concern is that we have had such little experience playing together as a whole team compared to other teams. Yeah, this is the weird thing about this team and trying to gauge how good they are, is that we see these short bursts of having everybody together, and hopefully we'll get a nice long period of time now where everybody's together and they can really work some of this stuff out. But it's totally true what Callie's saying. More reps with everybody together becomes more second nature. They really understand each other's tendencies and the way they want to play with each other. And that's something with a team that's been playing for 5 years together, like a core and stuff like that, that's tough to mimic and get really fast. But the thing about this team that we have right now is quite special. Like, I don't think Scotty Barnes is like any rookie I've seen in the last many years, that he is on the fast track, that we can't look at him as being a rookie in development in the regular schedule of development as a player would be. He's on a fast track in some ways. And we can't discount the fact that some of our main important guys really have played together for like 4 or 5 years, whether that be OG and Pascal and Fred and Chris, even with those 4 guys, they've been around for a while and have really played with each other for a while. So it is really true. They need more reps. If we get the next few months healthy and where they can just keep working together, getting used to each other, this is going to happen. And it may happen faster on our team than the normal team needs, because in some ways we have a couple things in our favor. We have really high basketball IQs. We have really astute, intelligent young players that are really motivated. And when that's happening, you can get further faster. And some other teams' development may take longer because guys just aren't getting it. Things aren't happening or things aren't clicking. And if things click quick and they get easy because we see how this synergy or this works with this combination, stuff like that, it could be nasty quick for the rest of the league. So I love your comment, Callie. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you'll come back again any morning. We're here every morning doing this. So, yeah. Thank you. You actually watch them. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep going. It could be the worst, the best, whatever's happened with the team. I'm gonna be here just talking about it because I love the Raptors. I've loved the Raptors since the mid 90s, and it hasn't stopped. And now it's just that great period of time where technology's caught up, and I feel adept enough to be able to do this and talk about it with everybody. And I just enjoy this community. I mean, I really love this community that's getting built here with all the different regulars that come on here and talk all the time with me and stuff like that. And I hope you'll make it more often, Callie. All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. The Spurs tonight. It's going to be a good challenge. We can't take them lightly in some ways because they have jumped on good teams and beat them when they shouldn't have. And usually it's a lazy team like the Lakers. The Lakers played lazy against the Spurs. They found out and they lost. So we can't play lazy at all today because the Spurs are a team that will hustle and play energy with young guys, and they will try and steal a game from us. So we need to ensure that we do all the correct things, play a full 48, don't let any second chance shots, and get to all their shooters today. All right, y'all, let's go. Let's go, Raptors. All right. It's going to be so fun. I'll see y'all tomorrow for a reaction to the game tonight and a preview for the Milwaukee game tomorrow night. All right. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. All the best.